Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well because today we're talking about music and today we're doing a good old-fashioned album review. We're going to be looking at the self-titled compilation Operation Ivy by Operation Ivy. This edition is released on Lookout Records there. You might know them, kind of Green Day's original label. But you've probably heard, if not of Operation Ivy, some of the components that make up Operation Ivy. Now, why am I doing the compilation? I mean, one, this is the easiest thing to find from the band, but they also only ever had one self-titled full length and then a couple EPs and EP split releases. So this compilation here, and we're going to get into exactly what's on here, is probably the best way to go about getting it. So this one originally came out in 1991. This edition here on Lookout, it's since been remastered under different labels. 2007 is the remaster you can find online for streaming. There's other editions that are more complete. So the band over their career actually have 32 official recordings. This one is 27 tracks. You can find the full 32 plus some bootleg material from, I believe, Hellcat as well. But this is probably the most widely available edition that you're going to find if you're going to pick up a physical copy. So, like I said, 27 tracks in total. So tracks 1 to 19 are their full length. So that's called Energy. So that's it's even in the same sequence. So that came out in 1989. That's their full length Energy. Tracks 20 to 25 are from their debut EP from 1987 called Hectic. So you're getting their debut EP, their full length on here. Plus tracks 26 and 27 are from their contribution to the Maximum Rock and Roll, which is a now, well, it's still around, an online now only publication on punk based out of the Bay Area in San Francisco and California. But it was well known for being a very influential physical zine as well. So tracks 26 and 27 are from their contribution to a double EP split called Turn It Around that came out in 87 as well. So like I said, the band has a total of 32 known recordings, and you can get pretty much all of them on here. I think Hellcat is currently the rights holder for this one. This is the Lookout Records version. So we're going to give a little bit of a history of the band. We're not going to go super in depth, but I figure this compilation more or less covers their entire history. So we could more or less cover their entire history. So they formed in East Bay, Berkeley, California in May of 1987. This band is super, super important for the development of third wave ska-punk. If you want to know where the roots of that genre came from, check these guys out. They don't have a horn section. Some tracks do have horns on them, but they're much more on the punk end of that ska-punk spectrum. So if you're thinking of sort of that mid to late 90s, really pop-oriented kind of hooks and horn lines, that's not what you get on here. This is much more punk-oriented. So if you're familiar with some of their other Lookout record stalwarts like Screeching Weasel or Green Day, that's kind of a bit more of what you get on here. They're also really well known for kind of giving rise to the Berkeley East Bay scene and for really kind of being central to the promotion of the culture of a very famous venue called 924 Gilman, named after its address. Classic. Because again, they weren't around that long, but they were really heavy in promoting sort of that scene. So that's sort of what they're known for as well. They're sort of made synonymous in that way. So after the band, so the band, again, forms 87. They break up in May of 1989. So not a flash in the pan band in terms of their influence, but in terms of how long they were around, that's not very long. So then you might ask, well, how come we still know who they are? We're going to get there. There's a very important reason you're going to know why. And maybe I'm going to give you some of the band member names. Maybe that'll tip you off a bit. So you have Jesse Michaels on vocals, Tim Armstrong, guitar and vocals, Matt Freeman on bass, and then Dave Mello on drums. So they break up 89. There's a short band. This is actually a band I didn't know about until doing a little bit of research for this. Apparently some bootlegs exist. There's no official recordings. This is a bootleg I do want to track down. So there's a short-lived band called Downfall, a ska-punk band from the Bay Area formed by Tim Armstrong, Matt Freeman, Dave Mello, and Pat Mello, Dave's brother, and Jason Hammond, following the breakup of Operation Ivy in 1989. This comes before Redacted, a band we're going to talk about, And they only ever performed 3 shows, all of them at 924 Gilman, over the 3-month period that the band existed. So there are recordings exist. There are recordings exist. Some recordings do exist. There are recordings that exist, and I need to track them down. I need to have like a physical bootleg of this. Now, the reason you might know this band is members go on to form Rancid, forming in Berkeley as well in 1991. So it's founded by Tim Armstrong and Matt Freeman. You probably recognize them from their hits. Their big breakout album, And Out Come the Wolves. The big hits off of that were Ruby Soho and Time Bomb. Really catchy, still very much in the same vein as Operation Ivy, ska-punk, but they really expand on that sound and even brought that genre even to more popularity. All right. With that, we're going to get into this compilation here. And there's 27 tracks on here. So we're not going to go track by track. We're not going to do super in-depth. All I can say is, again, this is an incredibly influential band, and you get their debut EP and LP on here. So if you want to know the roots of a genre, this is definitely one of those corner store albums to check out. And you can find it online, like I said, as well. But some takeaway tracks, I'm just going to kind of glance at this. Like, there's no bad tracks on here. I honestly am a fan of all of this. Sound System is one of their biggest hits. And that's one that features Tim on vocals for part of it. He's definitely got a divisive vocal style, but it worked really, really well on here. Take Warning, The Crowd. I'm trying to be dismissive of some tracks, but I'm like, that's a great one. That's a great one. Bombshell is a really upbeat instrumental, and that's kind of fun. I'm trying really hard not to just say all of these out loud. Smiling, that's a really not upbeat. That's the thing. A lot of the vocals on here, they're angry and pissed off and full of that youthful rage and energy through the lens of ska punk, and it works really well. Artificial Life, I like Artificial Life. That's a really good one too. Junkies Running Dry, that's a really good one. And I'll probably just, Take Warning, that's great. My favorite Operation Ivy song, honestly, I would say just go listen to this. Check it out in its entirety. But my favorite Operation Ivy song is Healthy Body. It's just got a really nice vocal delivery. It's really catchy, really bouncy and upbeat. So maybe it's not the most representative, or it's not the most famous Operation Ivy song. That probably does go to Sound System. Unity is probably their other really big hit. But I like Healthy Body for my money. But I mean, that's Operation Ivy, and I'm just doing a really quick, short review of that because I think this is one of those cornerstone albums you just got to check out. Show it up there. Even this is iconic. We've got this guy. I don't think he's featured. Yeah, it's featured again on the CD, on the hoodie. And then even in the booklet, I believe we have the, I don't know if he was ever given a name, Skanking guy. There you've got where it all came from. That's not the Skanking guy, but it's a Skanking guy. A little quote from Jesse there. Again, really positive, kind of unity-driven lyrics. So really, really cool on that front as well. There you go, Operation Ivy, compilation 91 on Lookout Records, titled Operation Ivy from their Energy LP, Hectic EP, and the Turn It Around, Split EP, double EP. Check it out, Operation Ivy, can't say enough good things. So important for the genre. Check you out next time. Bye.